When you think of Diddy, the music mogul, the producer, the billionaire, you think of a man at the top of the game, an icon in the entertainment industry. But what if everything we know about him, his life, and his empire is about to be shattered? What if Diddy isn't the successful mogul we've all seen on TV? What if, behind the glitz and glamour, there's a dark secret that could bring it all down? For the first time ever, a former assistant has come forward with explosive details that paint a very different picture of the mogul's life, a life filled with drugs, abuse, and disturbing wild king nights. And trust me, what he has to say will make you rethink everything you know about Diddy. Phil Pines, Diddy's senior executive assistant, spent 3 years working closely with the mogul. He was the one responsible for Diddy's day-to-day operations, everything from managing his meetings to organizing his most private affairs. But what Phil witnessed during his time working for Diddy was something he says he can never forget. In a groundbreaking new interview, Phil opens up about the darkest parts of Diddy's life, parts the public has never seen before. For years, Diddy's extravagant lifestyle has been shrouded in mystery, but now, thanks to Phil, we're getting a glimpse into the chaos that surrounded the mogul. How do you go from being an assistant to the biggest name in music to someone who feels the need to expose everything? What happened to Phil that made him turn on Diddy? Phil claims that his life changed the moment he entered Diddy's world. For 3 years, he worked tirelessly, but he soon found himself caught in a dark web of drug abuse, wild parties, and a shocking level of violence that would haunt him forever. In fact, the most disturbing part? The so-called Wild King nights that Phil was responsible for. These were not your typical Hollywood parties. These were intense, chaotic events that involved sex, drugs, and even violence. Phil describes these nights as freak-offs, but when he first heard the term, he had no idea what it meant. It wasn't until he saw them firsthand that he realized the full extent of what was happening behind closed doors. These weren't just parties. They were multi-day events involving commercial sex workers, copious amounts of narcotics, and, disturbingly, young women as young as 20. While not underage, Phil explains that many of these women were vulnerable, and their participation in these events was far from voluntary. Imagine working in an environment where your job isn't just to schedule meetings, but to delete videos of these parties. That's exactly what Phil was tasked with. His job? To scrub any digital evidence of the freak-offs, making sure nothing remained that could implicate Diddy or anyone involved. These parties were filmed. Yes, filmed. And Phil's responsibility was to make sure the footage was erased before it could be seen by anyone else. The idea of a music mogul being so desperate to cover his tracks is mind-blowing, right? But what Phil reveals next is even more chilling. He says that Diddy's temper was as violent as his lifestyle, 1 minute calm and composed, the next, an explosion of rage. Phil recalls moments when he feared for his safety, as Diddy threatened him with violence, even saying, "I'm Puff Daddy, I'll eat your face off." But why speak out now, after all these years? Why reveal these secrets now, when the damage is already done? What made Phil come forward with these claims? Phil says he's speaking out because he believes Diddy is a predator, and he wants accountability. For years, Diddy's behavior remained unchecked, and it's only now, after being exposed in a high-profile legal battle, that the truth is coming to light. Phil claims he's doing this for the victims, for the people who were hurt and exploited by Diddy's actions. He doesn't want to see anyone else suffer at the hands of a man who, in his words, runs a criminal enterprise. Phil isn't the only one speaking out. A series of lawsuits have surfaced, with men and women claiming they were drugged and sexually assaulted by Diddy. And if that wasn't enough, the FBI is reportedly investigating him for sex trafficking and racketeering. It's clear that Diddy's empire is crumbling. After his September 16th arrest, which followed accusations of running a criminal operation, Diddy now faces numerous legal battles. It's a far cry from the man we all know as the successful, smooth-talking mogul. And as more and more people come forward, it's looking like this might just be the beginning. So, what do you think? Is Diddy truly the monster some say he is? Or is this all just one big misunderstanding? With so many shocking revelations coming to light, it's hard to know what to believe. But one thing is certain, this story isn't over yet. If you want to stay updated on all the latest developments in the Diddy case, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. What's your take on Phil's story? Do you believe him? Let's discuss. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more breaking news.